These 3 ETF will take you into the hot semiconductor field. NVIDIA, Micron, AMD, and other companies are in this field. Semiconductor stocks may continue to be an excellent area of the market for investors, even though the prospect of a long period of rising interest rates has put pressure on some high-flying technology stock. On Tuesday, investors sent chipmakers stocks higher after Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company (TSM) reported double-digit increases in fourth-quarter sales and earnings, and said capital expenditures in 2022 would total between $40 billion and $44 billion. The reason chipmakers may be one of the best tech-oriented plays. Demand is rising for semiconductors used in vehicles and all sorts of devices. Below is a screen of 44 stocks held by 3 exchange-traded funds that are focused on the semiconductor industry. The 3 funds have varying approaches. First, here are their average annual returns for various periods against those of the SPDR SP 500 ETF Trust SPY and the Invesco QQQ Trust QQQ, which tracks the Nasdaq 100 index. ETF ticker average return, 3 years average return, 5 years average return, 10 years average return, 15 years iShares Semiconductor ETF. SOX 49.7%, 35.4%, 27.5%, 16.7%. SPDR SP Semiconductor ETF XSD 50.1%, 32.8%, 26.2%, 16.5%. VanEck Semiconductor ETF. Shaking my head 50.8%, 35.1%, 27%, 18.1%. SPDR SP 500 ETF Trust SPY 24.2%, 17.8%, 16%, 10.4%. Invesco QQQ Trust QQQ 25.3%, 27.2%, 20.4%, 15.7%. Source: FactSet. The semiconductor ETFs have outperformed SPY and QQQ by wide margins for all period. Their performance has been similar, but mixed, with the VanEck Semiconductor ETF shaking my head taking the prize for the 3-year and 15-year period. The iShares Semiconductor ETF SOX has had the best average returns for 5 years and 10 years. The SPDR SP Semiconductor ETF XSD ranks second for 3 years, but trails the other 2 for all other periods. On the table. Hey race more about the semiconductor ETFs. The SOXX is the largest, with $9.9 billion in total assets. It holds the 30 stocks in the PHLX Semiconductor Index, the 30 largest U.S. listed companies that make computer chips or provide equipment or services used to make them. ADRs are capped at 10% of the portfolio. The ETF is weighted by market capitalization, with limits of 8% for the 5 largest holdings and 4% for the rest. It is highly concentrated, with the top 5 stocks making up 35% of the portfolio. XSD has $1.6 billion in assets and holds 40 stocks of semiconductor companies of various sizes, included in the SP Total Market Index. The portfolio is equal weighted and rebalanced quarterly. According to FactSet, the equal weighting tilts its portfolio away from large, well-known companies and towards smaller growth ones. Shaking my head has $1.3 billion in assets and holds 25 U.S. listed stocks or ADRs, selected through a modified cap-weighted methodology that doesn't put a limit on the percentage of non-U.S. companies in the portfolio. So the largest holding is Taiwan Semiconductor, which makes up 10.5% of the portfolio, while only accounting for 4% of the SOXX portfolio. There's something to be said for each of the ETF's approaches, and long-term investors looking for the broadest take on the industry might be well-served holding shares of all 3. Now let's look at forward price-to-earnings ratios based on the consensus estimates for the next 12 months among analysts, polled by FactSet, as well as expected compound annual growth rates for sales per share, earnings per share, and free cash flow per share through 2023. Company ticker forward P/E 2-year estimated sales CAGR 2-year estimated EPS CAGR 2-year estimated FCF CAGR. iShares Semiconductor ETF SOX 20.67 10%, 11% 15%. SPDR SP Semiconductor ETF XSD 25.02 11% 19% 23%. VanEck Semiconductor ETF shaking my head 21.9 11%, 12% 15%. SPDR SP 500 ETF Trust SPY 20.82 6% 9%, 12%. Invesco QQQ Trust QQQ 28.29 10% 11% 15%. Source: FactSet. What stands out are the highest P/E valuation for QQQ and the highest expected EPS and free cash flow CAGR for XSD. Through 2023, XSD is also the most expensive of the 3 semiconductor ETFs on a forward P/E basis. Then again, it is considerably cheaper than QQQ on this basis and is expected to grow EPS and FCF much more quickly. Semiconductor stock screen. If we take the 3 ETF portfolios together, removing duplicates, We're left with a list of 45 stock. Consensus estimates for sales per share and earnings per share through calendar 2023 are available for 44 of them. For some, free cash flow estimates aren't available, and these are marked N/A. If a company is expected to report negative earnings for a calendar year, the EPS CAGR will also be marked N/A. For more detail on any of the companies, click on the ticker. The list of 44 semiconductor industry stocks is sorted by estimated 2-year sales CAGR through 2023. Company ticker 2-year estimated sales CAGR 2-year estimated EPS CAGR 2-year. Estimated FCF CAGR Wolf Speeding Wolf 36.9% not applicable Marvell Technology Inc. MRVL 26.2% 36.3% 77.7% Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company Ltd. ADR TSM 20.5% 22.2% 52% Analog Devices Inc. ADI 20.5% 14.4% not applicable Universal Display Corp. OLED 20.4% 28.6% 40.1% SunPower Corp. SPWR 19.6% 75% not applicable Monolithic Power Systems Inc. MPWR 19.1% 21.1% 13.7% NVIDIA Corp. NVDA 18.8% 21.2% 37.5% Micron Technology Inc. MU 16.9% 33.1% 73.1% Advanced Micro Devices Inc. AMD 16% 24.7% 12.9% Entegris Inc. ENTG 15.5% 16.7% -3.3% Lattice Semiconductor Corp. LSCC 15.3% 28.7% not applicable Synaptics Inc. SYNA 14.7% 18.7% not applicable Allegro Microsystems Inc. ALGM 13.5% 21.6% 35% ASML Holding NVADR ASML 13.1% 18.6% 20.9% Silicon Laboratories Inc. Lab 12.6% 32.5% not applicable Smart Global Holdings Inc. SGH 11.9% 11.4% not applicable Synopsys Inc. SNPS 11.6% 14.8% 4.4% Qualcomm Inc. Qualcomm 11.6% 13.5% 21.4% Semtech Corp. SMTC 10.2% 18.6% 18.6% MaxLinear Inc. MXL 9.8% 12.3% -0.6% KLA Corp. CLAC 9.8% 12.6% 4.7% Qorvo Inc. QRVO 9.3% 12.7% 35.4% NXP Semiconductors NV NXPI 9.3% 11.7% 12.4% Skyworks Solutions Inc. SWKS 9.1% 10.2% not applicable Applied Materials Inc. AMAT 9% 12.6% not applicable STMicroelectronics NVADR Regs STM 9% 15.7% 89.3% Teradyne Inc. TER 8.6% 11% 18.1% Cadence Design Systems Inc. DDNS 8.5% 10.6% 8.8% Xilinx Inc. XLNX 8.3% 16.8% not applicable Microchip Technology Inc. MCHP 8.2% 10.8% 11.1% First Solar Inc. FSLR 8.2% -5.7% not applicable Diodes Inc. DAOD 8% 13.4% 76.2% Broadcom Inc. OVGO 7.8% 12.8% not applicable United Microelectronics Corp. ADR UMC 7.7% 6.2% 20.7% Lam Research Corp. LRCX 7.7% 11.2% #N/Power Integrations Inc. POWI 7.2% 4.7% 1.9% Technology Holding Company Limited ADR ASX 7% 2.8% not applicable Cirrus Logic Inc. Cruise 5.5% 9.3% not applicable Rambus Inc. RMBS 5.5% 7.8% 9.6% on Semiconductor Corp. On 5.3% 11.9% 6.4% MKS Instruments Inc. MKSI 5.3% 5% 9% Texas Instruments Inc. TXN 5.3% 5% 6.2% Intel Corp. INTC 2.1% -15.7% -54.7% Source FactSet Wolf Speeding Wolf is expected by analysts to achieve the most rapid pace for sales growth through 2023. However, it isn't expected to turn an annual profit until 2023. So the EPS CAGR is marked N/A. Any stock screen is limited, but can help you begin your own research. Click on the tickers for more about each company. Click here for Tommy Kilgore's detailed guide to the wealth of information for free on the MarketWatch quote page. Don't miss, these SP 500 stocks have cratered, but analysts think 12 can turn it around with rebounds of up to 70%.